You are now running wild with the most underrated wrestling podcast in the world, WellsMania Podcast. I am your host, the Kyle Wells, aka WellsMania, and joining me is the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever. Oh wait, hold on a second. Wait a minute, isn't that power line from a Goofy movie? No,
there you go. Yeah,
Stone Payne Productions.
I'd rather be Powerline than whiny Bret Hart.
I figured you'd go with Powerline over the Hitman. This is episode 196 of WellsMania Podcast. Peyton, I got to ask, what's up with the shades, brother?
You caught me on a day where I had to go in and get a bunch of eye testing done. And after all the testing, my pupils are insanely dilated right now. So most everything I'm looking at is a complete and utter blur. And I am forced to wear these for probably the next 8 to 10 hours. So the light does not affect my head and give me a very, very bad headache.
Can you see that I'm also wearing my shades as well?
I can make out a dark blur on your face. So I assume you are wearing your Bret Hart goggles as well.
Solidarity, brother. Solidarity. United we stand. Well, hopefully you'll be able to see so much clearer and the vision will be coming back to you once you take off your Powerline shades. Dude, it's the fashion though. Like these old school style shades are back in.
Well, pretty soon, the reason I went today, good news, I won't have to wear these anymore. I did get approved for LASIK eye surgery.
Oh, hell yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you. So it's years in the making.
But you know what, Peyton? Even with LASIK, you still can't see the never seen 17 greatest of all time, John Cena. Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
No, well, I mean, I'll get the LASIK before he retires, but he is on his way out.
Yeah, don't remind me. We do have 4 dates left on the John Cena farewell tour. John won't be back on our TVs until November 10th when he is in Boston, Massachusetts for Monday Night Raw. And then we've got November 17th, New York City, Madison Square Garden. John will be there on Monday Night Raw. And then Survivor Series at the end of November out in San Diego. And then, yes, John Cena's final match, December 13th, Saturday night's main event in Washington, D.C. Peyton, I'm still waiting to get my ticket. I do plan on going, but I'm waiting for more seats to open. And honestly, I'm kind of playing it by ear because I'm still waiting for my son to be born. So I just want to make sure that my wife and my son are good by the time I do end up purchasing my ticket. Do you still plan on going?
If you need somebody to go with, I would happily go. And that would be a very good test to see how well I can see the ring without my glasses on. So
yeah.
I would be down to go. I mean, obviously, I want to see what the ticket prices are. I don't want to have to sell a kidney to go to it,
or an eyeball.
Yeah, or an eyeball. But $200-300. I mean, I'll drop that. That doesn't bother me.
Yeah, I think I saw the cheapest tickets available right now are somewhere in the $400 range, which honestly, that's doable. Let's face it, the ticket prices are what they are. Just keep saving your money, keep working hard, keep making content, and you'll have enough money to go. Now, the extra fees will be traveling. So depending how far away you all are from Washington, D.C., Peyton and we are in Indianapolis. So I think that's roughly like 10, 11, 12 hours away. So
it's about a 10-hour drive. It's doable. I mean, it is drivable.
It is doable. I don't mind being in a car for that long. Having somebody in the car with me always makes the car ride better. But
Mhm.
10 hours on the road by myself, that drive can get a little dicey. So if you and I do end up going, it'll be nice to have you riding on the road. And we can do content now that we know what we can and
Yeah.
can't do when
Yeah.
we're riding. But when we like pull off, we can do some updated content and throw it out there. And people love that. People love road trip. Road trip vlogs is what they call them.
Absolutely.
Now, Peyton, this episode, we've got Halloween Havoc this weekend, NXT Halloween Havoc. So we will close out this episode of WellsMania Podcast with our predictions for NXT Halloween Havoc. And what I always love to do around this time is go back and rewatch old Halloween Havoc pay-per-views. So you know me, I'm a sucker for nostalgia. We will definitely take a trip down memory lane and relive some of our favorite matches, moments, and memories from Halloween Havoc. And you know how I know I'm old, Peyton?
Hmm.
Some people don't remember when WCW had Halloween Havoc. They just only know Halloween Havoc because of NXT. That makes me feel extremely ancient. So,
That must be like really young people. I
yeah,
mean, how do you not know the origins of Halloween Havoc?
dude, it never ceases to amaze me. People
Yet
out here.
these are the same people that will argue with you and think that they know what's best for wrestling and storytelling and all of that stuff, and they don't even know what's happened past the 2010s.
Yeah. I always like to remind, like, people are always like, oh, this person deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. And then I always remind them, they're already in the Hall of Fame. Like Peter Rosenberg, he didn't know Coco Beware was already in the Hall of Fame. When he was interviewing Coco Beware, he's like, we got to get you in the Hall of Fame. And I'm sitting here screaming at the TV, he's already in the Hall of Fame, you jabroni. Man, my beef with Peter Rosenberg, whew, he has no idea who I am. But man, if I ever got into WWE, I would start a feud with Peter Rosenberg. And then I think that
He's
would
your
lead.
Sean Ross Sapp.
Yeah, exactly. We should do this. It should be me and Sean Ross Sapp versus you and Peter Rosenberg in a
Or
tag team match.
Well, or let's me and you versus Sapp and Rosenberg.
Well, we could do that too, but I actually like Sean Ross Sapp though.
Yeah,
I like
I
him.
I don't have no beef with Rosenberg though.
That's true. That is true. Well, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. But we speaking of Saturday night's main event and people thinking they know better than the game, Triple H, we will dive into Saturday night's main event because the card is starting to shape up and we will dive into that. But first, Peyton, there's a couple of things that I gotta just jump right into. So, like I said, I am about to be a dad any day now. My wife is literally could pop out our son any day now. So I came up with this really cool idea and I'm gonna pitch it to Pampers and Huggies. And Peyton, you tell me if you were the CEO or the COO, you were the Triple H of Pampers or Huggies, would you sign on this deal? So I'm about to become a dad. I host a wrestling podcast. So Pampers and Huggies, if you would sponsor WellsMania Podcast with diapers and other baby products, every episode of WellsMania Podcast, I will do a segment called Dirty Diapers, where it is sponsored by either Pampers or Huggies. And I would do the Dirty Diapers segment on what people are bitching and complaining about at that given day, because we always know there's always something that just sets people off. So that would be my idea, Peyton. Dirty Diapers, sponsored by Pampers or Huggies. Do you buy it or are you selling it?
I think it's a good idea. I think that it's a very good idea. I think that 3-4 years down the line, if you have 100,000 followers, I think that it would be a guaranteed get. But
Yeah.
we're still grinding to get to that point. But off the top of the head, yes, I'd say it's a good idea.
Yeah, man. I was just like, I've mentioned dirty diapers a lot on past episodes of WellsMania Podcast. And I was just brainstorming earlier today. I was coming up with so many different ideas. I was writing them down and I was like, ooh, cool. I'll pitch that to Peyton on episode 196 of WellsMania Podcast and see if he would think that would be a home run. Yeah, I'm gonna do a video later on my TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and I'm gonna just pitch it, tag them, and maybe somebody from their corporate or whatever will see it and they'll be like, we want that. We'll do it. Sign that guy. I don't know why I just went full Vince McMahon. But Peyton, something.
Can we talk about that too, please?
Yes.
The hair heard round the world.
Yeah. Vince LaPue. So in case you didn't see it, there was a viral video of Vince McMahon going around the interwebs last
Going
week.
full Pepe Le Pew.
And yeah, he has a white stripe right in the middle of his hair. And of course, everybody saying he looks like Pepe Le Pew. And then I did a video where I was like, not only does he look like Pepe Le Pew, but he also looks like Stripe from Gremlins and Cruella de Vil from 101 Dalmatians. Stripe and Cruella de Vil are the two villains, the two heels of their respected movies. And I mean, Pepe Le Pew, he's no face. That dude is he's very aggressive. I mean,
he's also slightly a pervert,
I was going to say he's very perverted. I mean,
they both got canceled. We'll just put it out there.
That kind of fits Vince McMahon's MO over there. So, yeah, Vince's hairstyle. Listen,
he's got to stop, man.
But here's the thing:
he's got to stop.
You and I are two bald-headed dudes.
It has nothing to do with that. It's just he went from an evil Walt Disney mustache to a skunk-haired. I just like. And then he's got so much plastic surgery that he doesn't even look real. It's like, dude, what are you doing? Just let Father Time do its thing.
I mean, Vince is 80 years old and more power to him,
I think he's chasing a headline. I think that's all it is. He wants people to be like, oh my God, look at his hair,
Vince always has a plan. Keep in mind, this is Vince McMahon we are talking about. He always wants to be the center of attention. I mean, that's his thing. That's his gimmick. And if I'm not going to come back to WWE, I'm going to do things out and about to get people's attention. And then they'll start talking about me and they'll start wanting me back. Because
just like giving out sculpted busts of himself at his birthday party.
Dude, I want one of those. I want one of those. I'm not gonna lie, I'd put it right on my desk.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. But the sheer ego
that
so someone would have to, oh my God, that you'd have to have. Could you imagine like people coming to your birthday and you having such a large ego that you give out sculpted busts of yourself to your guests?
Man, if I could afford it, I would do it. I don't know how much a bust of my head would go for, but when it comes to money, Vince McMahon, and money's not a thing to him. But have you seen season 2 of Peacemaker?
Yes.
There's a busted sculpture of John Cena's head in Peacemaker.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because I noticed it either before or after I noticed that Vince had those at his birthday party. And I was just like, oh my God, coincidence? I mean, that's kind of creepy that they did that in Peacemaker and then Vince did it in real life. And John and Vince are, they're boys, they're tight. Mm-hmm. But man, that would be, I couldn't imagine people coming to my 80th birthday party and I'm gifting them busts of my head.
He's one of a kind. He really is.
He is. And there are fans out there that want Vince McMahon to come back to the WWE. It's the same fans that wanted him out of the WWE. They're now wanting him back in the WWE.
It's this. First of all, these people don't know what they're talking about. Okay. They're complainers just for the sake that they like to complain. That's all they are. Like, they're remembering old Vince. And when I say old Vince, I mean like Vince from like 20 years ago. Okay.
Yeah.
We all lived through the era of WWE 2018, 2019, 2020. It was not good. It was not good. And it would only get worse because the best way I can describe it would be like having your 80-year-old grandfather, like plan your 18th birthday party. It's just, it ain't going to work. They don't get the vibe no more.
That would be really interesting to see what the grandpa would book for that birthday party.
And well, you saw he booked it on live television on Raw every week, and it was awful. So it's like Vince, he had his day in the sun. He gave us some of the greatest moments in pro wrestling history, but time had passed him by, and it was time for the torch to be passed. People need to just let it go.
Yeah.
We are beyond the era of Vince McMahon now.
And mainly, I think a lot of people are fired up about the prices of tickets going up. And
that's what it is.
I think that plays a big factor in people reminiscing the good old days when ticket prices were affordable for families. And now they're more challenging for families to afford to go. I think that's what people miss. Is not Vince. They miss the ticket prices.
And this is where people have to separate stuff. And I got into an argument on a TikTok live the other day with a guy because he was trying to say, Triple H has ruined the WWE and the WWE's garbage now, and I can hardly watch it and all this stuff. But then after debating with him a little bit, I was trying to be like, well, why? Why do you think it sucks? What is so bad? And the only answer he could give me was how expensive the tickets were. And I was like, well, you got to understand, the ticket prices are not Triple H's call. That is above Triple H's head. He's only in control of the creative, and you're not giving me any storyline points of why the show's unwatchable. All you're bringing up is the expenses of tickets. So people have got to separate the affordability of the shows versus the shows themselves. Yes, I think the ticket prices are absolutely outrageous. They are ridiculous. Nobody wants to spend these prices. And I think that eventually there's going to have to be a very rude wake-up call for WWE on the ticket prices. But that doesn't mean that the show is bad every week, because I've seen bad. You've seen bad.
We've seen a lot of bad, and I'm a lot older than you. I can go back to the mid 90s before the Attitude Era. That was a very bad time for WWF.
And like I said, you lived that era. I'm one of the few people I think that you'll ever find that has literally gone back and watched every Raw, SmackDown, ECW, Nitro, pay-per-view like ever before I was even born. So like I've relived it all, and you can't tell me that, okay, you're mad that LA Knight didn't win. All right. Well, you didn't have to sit through Mantar, for fuck's sake. Okay.
Mantar. Who thought they were going to get a Mantar reference on this episode of WellsMania Podcast?
Like, so don't give me bad. We know what bad is.
The Goon.
Yeah.
Duke the Dumpster Drosy. I mean, these are great these are great gimmicky characters, but as far as like, wait a minute, these are the characters
Yeah.
that are wrestling in WWE. Yeah, TL
Even
Hopper with
even like I
with the
said,
plunger.
2019, the biggest storyline in 2019 was Roman Reigns getting dog food poured on his head. Like, you're really going to compare what we're getting now to what we had? Like, get out of here.
That
Like,
was definitely rough, and no pun intended. And I'm glad that he evolved into the tribal chief and really got on that godlike character that he is to this day. You bring up L.A. Knight, yeah. Let's dive into it. I'll save what I originally was going to jump into. We'll get to that here in a little bit, but this past Monday night on Raw, we had Braun Breaker with the World Heavyweight title looking like scenes out of WCW, Scott Steiner back in the 90s. I'm a sucker for nostalgia, so
dude,
that's
he's
automatically where my mind went.
That man is not the son of Rick Steiner. He is Scott Steiner's kid. Like, I'm convinced
definitely
that,
in the genes.
I'm convinced that Scott had a son, didn't want to raise him, and just gave him to Rick, because everything about Braun Breaker screams Scott.
He is very, very similar to his uncle Scott. More similar to his uncle Scott than his dad Rick. But this past Monday night on Raw, due to the Seth Rollins injury, which at the moment seems to be legit, he had to vacate the World Heavyweight title. Now, he wasn't there because of Braun and Bronson taking him out the previous week. But then Adam Pearce is like, Braun, you got to give me the title. And Braun, you could tell that he did not want to hand over the World Heavyweight title, but he ended up doing it. And then we got a number one contender battle royal. Now, Peyton, you look at the match graphic for the number one contender battle royal, which Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed originally were going to be in this battle royal, and you automatically got to think Braun Breaker's winning this battle royal to get the number one contender to go face CM Punk at Saturday night's main event for the vacated World Heavyweight title. However, later on in the show, right before the battle royal, Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed get pulled from the battle royal. Adam Pearce is like, you guys are not participating in the battle royal. You're out. So to me, it's kind of like they're really going to hold off on launching Braun Breaker to win the World Heavyweight title. I do think it's inevitable. Eventually it will happen later rather than November, here at the beginning of November. So we are watching this battle royal, Peyton, and there's some pretty big names in there. We've got, LA Knight, AJ Styles, Dominic Mysterio, Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, Sheamus, and several other WWE superstars. I think there were almost 20 in there. And we get towards the end, and of course, when LA Knight got eliminated, I don't know how you felt about it, Peyton, but it fired me up because I thought for sure with Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed being pulled from the Battle Royal, it was almost a guarantee that LA Knight was going to win and go face CM Punk at Saturday night's main event.
Yeah.
Were you feeling the same way?
I didn't like it. I didn't like that LA Knight was eliminated and Jey Uso won. And again, like we just talked about, bad booking and, the show being bad. This is one of those instances. I'm not going to call it bad booking because we haven't seen how it all plays out yet. I like to let an entire story unfold before I judge the story. But in the moment, I disagree with the decision, and I'll tell you why I disagree with the decision. Just a week ago, CM Punk pinned Jey Uso to become the number one contender. So why does this match at Saturday night's main event interest me for the world title when CM Punk just beat this guy who he's going to be facing in 2 weeks. Like, it would have made way more sense for it to be LA Knight, because LA Knight was the other man in that number one contenders match, the guy that didn't get pinned. So he would have had a gripe. And LA Knight and Punk have already been having a budding rivalry going back and forth. So you could have culminated that at Saturday night's main event. Now, if they're thinking, well, you're going to have CM Punk win the title at Saturday night's main event, and then LA Knight failing in another title match would have just pissed off the fans. Okay, I get that, but I would have made the argument that would have been LA Knight's moment to finally win the title, even if it's just for a couple months until the Royal Rumble or something, you know? And I still love my idea of LA Knight going heel and joining Heyman and the Breaker and Bronson Reed in replacing Seth Rollins in the Vision, because LA Knight is a great heel. We know he can do it, and I think he would have filled that void perfectly. So I don't love Jey Uso versus CM Punk. It feels a little redundant to me. And again, my biggest gripe with it is, why do I care when Punk literally just pinned this guy to become the official number one contender?
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree with everything you said. And you know me, Peyton, I'm one of the most positive wrestling fans on planet Earth. But even I can see that this just isn't it. I mean, you can always tell from the WWE universe regarding Jey Uso when it's a hit and when it's a miss. This is a miss. Him winning at WrestleMania, that was a hit. Him winning the number one contender to go face Punk for the vacated World Heavyweight title, that is a miss. Because of everything you just said, we had a prime opportunity to have LA Knight, who is more over arguably than any other superstar on the roster. And he yet has been able to been launched to grab that brass ring. For whatever reason, WWE just keeps having him come up short. And it's really pissing off the fans, because we've been there, done that with Jey Uso. I think we're all yeeted out. We want to say, we want to the hell out of everything. We don't want to yeet anymore. You can tell when they're doing the run it back. Enough with the run it back. Who cares?
Getting a little old now.
Yeet is stale. Yeet is stale. It's nowhere near as over as it was at the beginning of 2025. It is played out. It has jumped the shark.
Which makes you wonder, you know, did the man make the catchphrase, or did the catchphrase make the man? You know what I mean? Like,
that's a great point.
Like, was the yeet the only reason that Jey got as over as he did? Because hey, I'll argue this point. I'll argue it to the grave. I think that Jimmy is better than Jey. I think that he is. I think he's a better in-ring worker, and I think he's more entertaining on the mic. You know, there's a lot of people that disagree with me, but you know, I think if you really watch them both pound for pound, I think Jimmy is better in both in-ring and on mic. And Jimmy's another one that I think, I'm tired of seeing Jimmy get disrespected.
Yeah.
I think Jimmy Uso needs his push.
And if that's what this is leading to,
great.
Then I'm all for it.
I feel like if that's what it's leading to, awesome. But guess what? We've already done the Jimmy Uso turning heel on Jey Uso storyline. They did it over a year ago. And it's like, are we going to do that again?
Well, this time it would have to be Jey turning on Jimmy. And that, you said it earlier, you and I are going to let this play out. We could speculate all we want.
Oh, yeah.
There's got to be a reason why because they know the backlash. I mean, WWE, Triple H, they know that.
That's why, like I said,
having Jimmy win, there's going to be backlash. But if this means we get a heel Jey Uso, I think that's the direction we need to go with Jey. And then he pulls a Daniel Bryan. Like I said earlier in the year, it's carbon copy of Daniel Bryan's yes. When Daniel Bryan was a heel and the crowd was chanting yes, what was Daniel Bryan doing to the crowd? No. Now we're going to get Jey Uso doing his no yeet to the crowd's yeet. I mean, it's kind of like a modern day Daniel Bryan. And that's kind of the direction that I'm wondering. That's why they're putting Jey in this situation. Have CM Punk win the World Heavyweight title, and then Jey and Punk, they embrace, but then Jey turns on Punk. And then that's how Saturday night's main event ends, with the Jey Uso heel turn. I mean, that's definitely one way
So
we can go with it.
You think that they do the turn that quick? See, I think they'd build it up a little bit longer. I
I
don't
mean,
think it would happen that soon.
Jey could snap at any given moment. He's already shown that he's got a lot of tension, and it only takes one thing to set somebody off like that. And I think Jey losing to Punk, maybe due to Jimmy. Maybe Jimmy interferes, tries to help Jey, but it backfires, and then that's where Jey just snaps and he takes out Jimmy and Punk and stands tall as a heel. And then possibly this is where we get him kind of lining back up with Roman Reigns. Like, there's a lot of unknown going on here.
I think that's where you'd flip it. I think Jey would then also turn on Roman.
Or yeah, he could turn on Roman too, because Roman doesn't want to see the Usos until Christmas. He made that loud and clear.
Yeah, he's skipping Thanksgiving. But I think we're both in agreement, though. Punk is probably the next world champion.
Yeah, I think Punk getting robbed at SummerSlam, I think this is the moment where you let Punk actually get a run with the title to close out the year. Unless, Peyton, this idea came to my mind the other day when Jey won the Battle Royal. What if Gunther returns and interjects himself into this match, and it becomes a triple threat match at Saturday night's main event? Because Gunther has a strong case that he never lost the World Heavyweight title. And
he would have lost it. He lost it clean at SummerSlam.
Well, yeah, but
because Punk won and then Seth cashed in.
Yeah, he lost because he was hurt. I mean, that's why he dropped the title. I guess
true.
Kayfabe wise, yes, he did get pinned. But he's got history. He's got history with Punk. He's got history with Jey. So he could interject himself and say, the only reason you beat me at SummerSlam was because I was injured and I wasn't 100%. And Jey, you're so irrelevant. I've beat you so many times that you don't even matter. So I think the only right thing to do here is for me to get my World Heavyweight title back at Saturday night's main event. I think that would be something the fans would really enjoy. Mm-hmm. And then you could have Gunther win the World Heavyweight title at Saturday night's main event. And then
I know where you're going. You're booking to get Cena an 18th title reign.
I'm kind of fantasy booking here, but yes, if the rumors are true and Gunther does take on John to be the final opponent, let's make it worth something. Let's put everything on the line. Career versus World Heavyweight title. Now, obviously, career, because that's John's final match, but Gunther, and I said this earlier in the year, there's only one man who can beat Gunther, and that is John Cena. And then obviously we went down a completely different road to WrestleMania. So the match that I thought we were going to get at WrestleMania, John Cena versus Gunther, we actually could get at the end of the year, World Heavyweight Champion Gunther versus John Cena for John Cena's final match.
We also still don't know what John will be doing at Survivor Series. So
I don't think we know what the hell is going to be going on at Survivor Series. Like the whole landscape has changed.
Rollins' injury has definitely changed the dynamic, I think, of what Survivor Series was looking like. And then again, maybe not. Maybe they always had different plans in place. I don't know. But the vision definitely will not be in War Games. That is for sure.
Yeah, and obviously we talked about this on the last episode of WellsMania Podcast. You speculate that we are going to get the MFTs versus the Wyatt Six in a War Games match.
See, I'm actually now I've heard some people throw it out there, and I think that this could be cool. What if we went back to when NXT did it one time? The very first War Games in NXT was a 3-team War Games match. What if we went that route? What if you did the MFTs versus the Wyatts versus a team led by Sami Zayn that's like the team that's stuck in the middle of it all? Because they are building up other guys in this storyline. Sami Zayn, Nakamura, who else was on the receiving end of an MFT attack this week? Someone else was. Oh, Dragunov.
Yeah, the new United States champion.
Yeah. So there's other people being thrown into this mix, and it's like, well, how do they all fit in? So could we be looking at a 3-team War Games match this year?
That would be something. I mean, that would pique my interest more than just MFTs versus Wyatt Six. I mean, to me, I'm not really too interested about it, but if you throw a third team in there as a wild card, now you got my interest. Now, real quick, Peyton, before we move on, I did launch this out there to the Wells Maniacs. What are your thoughts on Jey Uso winning the #1 contender battle royal? Shane Dubich said that it should have been LA Knight. Yeah. Jessica Flick said the way he did it, kind of shady, but setting up a heel turn, I feel. That's kind of how I feel as well. Jarrett Cornig, Jarrett Coring. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing. RK is what we call him. Triple H sets out who we gonna out the world title on now. Put the world title on now. Everyone. Punk, Knight, AJ, Triple H. 4 letters, 1 word. Jey Uso. Tiffany Rose, congratulations to you and Brett on getting engaged. And what a way to celebrate seeing Jey Uso versus CM Punk at Saturday night's main event in their hometown of Salt Lake City, Utah. Yeet, that's what she said. Sydney Ray from Tag Team Twinning, she said, lame. Does that surprise you, Peyton?
No.
Gunnar Parks, he says, 4 letters, 1 word, yeet. If you're going to do the 4 letters, 1 word in that dumb sound effect, you got to say 4 letters, 1 word, 1 sound effect, yeet. I'm over it. I'm just over it. But anyways, that's thank you for everybody who actually interacts and engages when I lob out questions. Something else, Peyton, before we get to Halloween Havoc. How do you walk me through the process of how you eat a bowl of cereal? Just gonna ask you real quick.
So I find the bowl, I choose the cereal, I then pour the cereal into the bowl, and then I pour however much milk I think is equivalent to the amount of cereal that I've already put into the bowl.
Yeah. That is the only way to do it. However, there is another way that some people are doing it. So a couple of days ago, I did a taste test review on the Demogorgon Crunch, the brand new cereal from Kellogg's promoting Stranger Things season 5. And in the video, I did a taste test review, and I looked in the camera and I said, if you pour milk before the cereal, you are a psycho. Well, then I saw friend of the WellsMania podcast. Shout out to Josh Mills, that one Mills guy on TikTok. If you want to give him a follow, he shouted out Mr. Beast because I don't know if you've seen this trend going around TikTok, Peyton, besides the Group 7 and And 6'7", 6'7". Besides those trends that nobody knows what the hell any of that even means.
No idea.
I still don't know what the group 7 or 6'7". I think they're one and the same, honestly. And TikTok is just making something out of nothing. But Josh did what I did. I did a TikTok telling Mr. Beast, hey, if you're giving out 10K to people, look no further. I would love 10K. I'm about to become a dad and I can buy a bunch of baby stuff for my kid and just take less stress off my wife and I. And then I saw Josh Mills, and in his video doing the same thing, trying to get 10K from Mr. Beast, he poured milk in his cereal bowl first and then put cereal on top of it.
He's a serial killer.
It's diabolical, Peyton.
He's as monstrous as Ed Gein.
Oh, yeah. Ed Gein, definitely, with a side of skin.
That man definitely poured milk first. I mean,
dude,
you're a nutcase if you do that.
If I was a mine hunter back when all the serial killers were still alive, before I'd get into why they did what they did, I want to do some background questions.
The first question I'd ask, did they pour the milk first?
How do you make your cereal?
Yeah.
And that tells me everything I need to know. And I think that's where the term serial killer comes from, is people who pour the milk in the bowl before the serial killer.
I would, if I encountered anyone that ever did that, I would cut ties with them as quickly as possible.
Yeah. So if you're one of those people, explain yourself in the comments down below. Why the hell?
How do you even measure it properly?
I don't know.
Because you know how sometimes you pour a bowl of cereal and sometimes you pour maybe a little too much cereal in there.
Yes.
It's like, oh, that's more than I wanted, but I can still put the equivalent of milk. What if you mess up the measurements? What if you pour more cereal than that's not equal to milk, but the milk's already in the bowl? Then you got to go get the milk back out again. It's just what are you doing?
It's definitely diabolical is the best word I could think of. So I went on TikTok because you and me, Peyton, we'll find any reason to put content out there. I was working earlier today and I used my props. I'm in grocery stores selling Prime, but I used the dairy, the milk area, and the cereal aisle for my TikTok video. And I simply threw this out there. I said, are you team milk before cereal or team cereal before milk? And we've got people weighing in. So let me run through the list here. Britt says, cereal before milk. I'm not a serial killer. So she gets it. Clayton Carnes, why would you do milk first? Exactly. Because that's psychotic. Josh Black 843, cereal always first, unless you have milk left and pouring another round. I would make an exception if you wanted to add more milk.
Okay, well I think everybody's done that. That's a different question. That's a different equation.
Yeah. Paige Mack, friend of the WellsMania podcast, cereal before milk only, in all caps. Josh Mills, the culprit for this debate. Only one right answer: milk before cereal.
The police need to go check that man's backyard for bodies.
Dude. Quiddy, we love Quiddy. Bowl, then cereal, then milk, then spoon. Yes, exactly. That's the process. My wife, good thing she answered this appropriately. Cereal before milk. We are still married and still having a kid. Gene Fuman Fisher, cereal first. Stone Pain Productions weighing in. What deranged psychopath would do milk before cereal? Josh Mills.
Yeah.
Daily Dose of Dickin, cereal before milk. Rick Brewer Jr., cereal before milk. Eric E. Rock Boger, cereal before milk. Tony Ranny, cereal before milk. And the Bearded Wrestler, cereal before milk.
This reminds what other weird food things could be done to point out a psychopath?
Yeah, that's
I've got one that just popped in my head, and I've seen a couple people in my time do this. Have you ever encountered someone who puts ketchup on macaroni and cheese?
Yeah, my wife does that.
Oh, she's a killer. She's a murderer.
Well, she puts mac and cheese next to the the ketchup next to the mac and cheese.
And dips it in?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know, man. It's one of the weird things about her. But I do a lot of weird things too.
You done a background check, correct?
Oh yeah, definitely, always.
Wow.
But I'm trying to think what are some other weird food concoctions. The milk before the cereal, that right there is like number one on the
People
list.
who cook pizza rolls in a microwave.
Well, I used to, but that was before I got comfortable with the oven. But that was back when I was in college. You do a lot of different things in college. You just throw everything in the microwave. You throw everything in the microwave, or you throw everything on the George Foreman. That was how I operated back at Ball State. But yeah, what's another good question for people down in the comments to interact on this, to let us know you got this far in the episode? What are some weird things that you do with your food? What are some weird concoctions? Let us hear it. Now, me, it's not weird by any means, but I will put mashed potatoes on everything. Mashed potatoes on my chicken sandwich, mashed potatoes on my burgers. I mean, I will put mashed potatoes on everything. So I guess that could be weird.
That's mashed potatoes go with quite a bit though.
You're damn right. But that was, these are just things that kind of just, you never know what you're going to get on an episode of WellsMania Podcast. But Peyton, we have Halloween Havoc, NXT Halloween Havoc this Saturday. I will more than likely be watching because I love Halloween Havoc. I don't know about you, Peyton, but my favorite WCW pay-per-view is Halloween Havoc.
Oh yeah, it's the best. It's the coolest one.
Coolest one. It's right up. Like, I know this one gets a lot of hate, but I love the concept. WW3, World War III. I always enjoyed.
I literally just watched that a couple months ago.
It's fun.
It is very cool. It's
three rings of a Royal Rumble. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a cool concept.
Sometimes in my early mornings, I'll go back and turn on like old WCW or something along those lines, just like as background noise,
Yeah.
So or while I'm drinking like morning coffee, and I turned on one of the WW3s.
Yeah, I mean, they never get old. It's just a cool concept. If WWE wanted to bring that back, I think people would really pop for it. But just going through, I made a little list here, and you can chime in if you agree with these, and then I'll ask you what some of your favorite matches or moments or memories from Halloween Havocs. And most of mine are from WCW because I'm old school. One of my all-time favorite Halloween Havoc matches was Mask versus Title at Halloween Havoc 1997. Rey Mysterio Jr. versus Eddie Guerrero.
That could be the best Halloween Havoc match of all time.
That one right there, it's a classic. I actually watched it not too long ago, and it's just a shame that Eddie's no longer with us because he was so damn good. And I know Eddie would be so proud of Dominic Mysterio because we've been getting a lot of Dom channeling Eddie Guerrero lately, more than usual, and I am here for it. Let's see. Another match that I personally enjoyed was Halloween Havoc 1994 career versus career cage match. Ric Flair versus Hulk Hogan.
That's a good one.
I wanted that match so bad at WrestleMania 8, didn't get it. So here we are 2 years later, and we got it at Halloween Havoc. I mean, we got it a lot in WCW, but this was one of my favorite Flair Hogan matches. And of course, Hogan got the victory. Couple of DDP matches from Halloween. I feel like DDP really embraced the Halloween Havoc and put on some bangers. Goldberg versus DDP World Heavyweight Championship match, Halloween Havoc 1998. But Peyton, if you were watching this match live, the pay-per-view cut out due to time constraints. So a lot of people didn't even get to see the end of this match. If you were there in the building, you got to watch it. Isn't that wild to think?
It is weird. And I'm trying to remember if you go back and watch it streaming, does it cut out or do they have the rest of it on there?
That's a good question. I'm gonna.
I know I've watched it. I just don't remember if it cuts out or not. Because it's been a few years.
Yeah, we'll have to go back and watch Halloween Havoc '98 and see if they kept it as is or if they have updated it all these years later. Another one that WWE Human Encyclopedia Jared Giles really enjoyed was another Diamond Dallas Page match versus Macho Man Randy Savage, the Las Vegas sudden death match at Halloween Havoc 97. Dude, Halloween Havoc 97 was a banger.
Mm-hmm. It might be the best one.
But that match was a lot of fun, just seeing those two guys just beat the hell out of each other. A guy who's very underrated, but absolutely crushed it during this era, Dean Malenko. Rey Mysterio Jr. versus Dean Malenko for the Cruiserweight title, Halloween Havoc 1996. It was a banger. It's a good match. Those two guys put on a fun match. This is more of a this might be one of my all-time favorite matches, and it might surprise you, Peyton, but it's the Texas Death Match at Halloween Havoc 1993.
That's my all-time favorite Halloween Havoc match.
Big Van Vader versus Cactus Jack.
Yeah.
Dude, how good was that match?
It's one of my all-time favorite WCW matches. And every time I try to go back and watch it every October at least once, because like that is my favorite Halloween Havoc match. And it's such a good hardcore match because it's brutal, but it's old school, it's stiff. It's just everything you'd want out of a Vader Cactus Jack match.
Yeah, I can never get enough of it. And I remember watching it live as a kid, and I was like, oh my God, are these guys okay?
Yeah, it was
like
brutal.
They're just beating the hell out of each other. And then Cactus Jack doing that bump on the barricade.
Yeah.
Like so smooth, but I was just like, is he all right? Can we check on him?
And you know what? It was real hardcore. They didn't need an aquarium.
Oh my God. What the hell is even that? What was that?
Dude, I don't know. This is they're trying too hard.
Listen, to each their own. I don't want to bash on AEW.
They're trying too hard.
When
We've gotten to the point where they're throwing Molotov cocktails and trying to drown people in aquariums. You've gone past the point of creativity.
The highlight of that event was Sting. Sting also Halloween Havoc. I loved always seeing Sting. I feel like he fit right in, even when he was Surfer Sting, but especially when he was black and white Sting. Oh my God. With the giant Halloween Havoc inflatable pumpkin.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that thing was a staple at Halloween Havoc. Halloween Havoc 1998 though. Ultimate Warrior and Hulk Hogan. Damn, that was not good.
It was not good.
And you know what's wild is
that might be one of the most disappointing main events in WCW history.
Yeah. 8 years. 8 years before we got the Ultimate Challenge.
Yeah.
And then 8 years later, I know they're older and they've gone through a lot, but my God, man, when you start putting it into perspective like that, only 8 years had gone by. It's not like now, like when we get these dream matches decades later, only 8 years had gone by.
Yeah, but you got to remember, I mean, and this is, I'm not trying to bash Warrior here, but you know, Hogan carried Warrior through the match at WrestleMania 6. I mean, they're on record saying that, where Warrior tried to call for the finish like 5 minutes into the match, and Hogan was like, "Nah, we can't do that, brother.
It doesn't work for me, brother.
Like we're in the main event of WrestleMania. We got to go at least 20 minutes here, you know." So it doesn't shock me that the match was bad, but when they booked it, they should have made it a whole hell of a lot simpler than what they tried to go for.
Yeah. Cool nostalgia, but you just did not.
They would have been better off to have a 5-minute train wreck in that match that's just like boom, 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 hit the finishers and go home than do what they did.
Speaking of train wrecks, your all-time favorite Halloween Havoc moment came at 1995's Halloween Havoc when the Yeti debuted. You talk about just a terrible main event to that Halloween Havoc.
Yeah.
The show was decent. The Halloween Havoc 95 was a decent show until we got the Yeti coming out and doing whatever the hell that was on Hulk Hogan with the Giant.
We try to forget about that.
That is embedded in my brain as a little boy watching that.
What is with all of the terrible debuts that WCW had? I mean, they had like what the Yeti, the Shockmaster. What was Nash's character? The Wiz. What was his?
Oz.
Oz. Like the Snow Guy. What was his? Glacier.
Oh, the snow guy.
Like what the amount of bad debuts that WCW had is actually staggering when you think of them all.
Yeah, it just. But thank God we had Halloween Havoc 1993. I think that probably was the best Halloween Havoc of all time. Spin the wheel, make the deal.
Mm-hmm.
Little old school right there. So Peyton, is there anything else? I mean, I know I just rambled a ton, but did I miss anything that you really enjoyed?
I'm sure there's moments. What was the match? I think it did happen at Halloween Havoc. Was it the one where they basically killed Abdullah the Butcher?
Oh yeah, that was the terror, the
you know what I'm talking about? It was like
the House of Horrors. What was that called?
Yeah. I think it was House of Horrors, where it was like the cage in the cage, and then there was like an electric shock chair.
Yes, that was
it ended
brutal.
Ended horribly because the chair apparently wasn't activating, so they had to flip the switch like 45 times.
The Chamber of Horrors match.
Chamber of Horrors.
From Halloween Havoc 1991.
Yeah. I say bring it back. I say do it again in modern era. Let's let NXT run that back and do it properly.
Yeah, because that, like you said, that was one of the worst matches in Halloween Havoc, maybe WCW, maybe
cool
pro wrestling
concept
history.
Great. WCW had some crazy cool concepts. It's just, like Chamber of Horrors. What was the 3-cage one? Remember that one where it was like there was like 3 levels to the cage?
Yeah, because we saw that in Ready to Rumble.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember.
There was that.
What that was called.
And then
this is where Jared would just rattle it right off his brain.
Yeah, and then there was obviously WW3, the 3 rings.
Let me type it in here. 3 cages, WCW, 3 cages. It's just called a triple cage match. Oh, they did it at Slamboree. Slamboree 2000.
Huh.
But I remember it from Ready to Rumble.
Yeah.
Which is one of the best wrestling movies of all time. And John Cena was in Ready to Rumble.
He was.
As a young prototype.
I'm telling you, man, they need to bring back some of these concepts. Let NXT do them, whatever.
Yeah, I'm just glad we got Halloween Havoc back, which is a great segue to go home on this episode of WellsMania Podcast. This, to me, I feel like it used to be such a big deal growing up. So it's the nostalgia that does it for me. Do you think people give a damn nowadays about Halloween Havoc, Peyton?
I mean, I don't think they will. It's not, obviously it's not as big as the WCW days, because when you're talking about a brand that was as big and competing with the WWE during that time, and it was one of their major attractions. Where, you know, the NXT PLEs are obviously beneath the main roster PLEs, but I think people should care because the NXT PLEs always deliver. They're always amazing shows,
Yeah.
you know. So I think we're going to have a pretty banger card.
Yeah, and we've got 6 matches on the card in no particular order. I'm just going to read through them and we will give our predictions. Very rarely on WellsMania Podcast do we dive in to the NXT PLEs. We'll bring it up here and there, but I feel like Halloween around this time of the year, I mean, next week, you know, if my son isn't here yet and we're still able to record the Halloween episode, I always look forward to the Halloween special of WellsMania Podcast. And we may or may not dress up, and I'm trying to get a special guest to join us on the Halloween episode. If everything lines up, Peyton, we could have a pretty big name on episode 197 of WellsMania Podcast. Possibly. We'll see.
Shockmaster.
It could be. It could be the Shockmaster. He is still with us. Fred Ottman is still with us. But let's start with a singles match for the NXT Women's North American title. Now, of course, catching you all up to speed, Sol Ruca unfortunately suffered an injury.
My girl got hurt.
Dude, she joins a long list of wrestlers who are hurt. So instead of vacating the title, her friend, Zarya, said that I will fight for you. I will fight for you at Halloween Havoc. And Ava approved it. So we are getting Zarya as the
interim
NXT North American champion on Women's North American champion on defense for Sol Ruca versus Blake Monroe. Now, Peyton, this ain't gonna go well for Zarya.
No, it's not.
I think Blake Monroe is going to win because it always seems to backfire when somebody is wrestling on behalf of you. That usually never tends to go the way that they think it's going to go.
I imagine Blake Monroe wins here, and then that will have a big setup towards the inevitable Zarya Sol Ruca breakup.
Yeah.
That is a friendship that is destined to end in betrayal. So I feel like this is going to be a major stepping point to that.
And it'll be really nice for Blake Monroe to win her first NXT title. So it'll be, the time is now. Pull the trigger. She's over. Put the Women's North American title on her and just let her run wild with it. Let's talk about the men's NXT North American title. The champion, or I'm sorry, he represents Canada. So he's the Canadian North American champion here. Ethan Page versus El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. The Day of the Dead match is what they're calling this, Peyton. And I thought it was funny. Ethan Page didn't even think that this guy was even real.
It's hard to believe he is real with that name.
Yeah. So are we getting a new North American champion, or are we keeping the title on All Ego here?
No, I think Ego's keeping the title. Ego's had a great title reign thus far. I think that he's absolutely been crushing it. I love the Canadian design of the North American belt.
Yeah.
I think this is mainly just to get AAA in the mix. I love the idea for a Day of the Dead match. I think that's very cool.
Very fitting for Halloween, Day of the Dead. I love it too. But it ain't gonna go well for old Dr. Wagner here.
Yeah, Ego's winning.
How about more lucha, AAA luchadors tag team match action here? Javon Evans and Leon Slater versus Mr. Iguana and La Parca. Now, of course, this is not the original WCW La Parca. Unfortunately, he has passed away. However, this is AAA's take on La Parca. Halloween Havoc La Parca. He's wrestled at Halloween Havoc. The character has. I got to go with Mr. Iguana and La Parca to get the win here.
I agree. I think if Wagner's losing the other match, I think you got to have AAA win one of them. So I think that Iguana and La Parca pull this one out. Also, those gimmicks fit Halloween Havoc perfectly. So I'm going La Parca and Iguana.
Yeah, and I would love for one of us one day to dress up as Mr. Iguana. I think we could pull that look off.
I
pretty
mean,
well.
I could do it great because I don't have the beard.
That is true. You should dress up as Mr. Iguana for a future episode of WellsMania Podcast.
Maybe if I ever attend a AAA show, I'll do it.
Yeah, there you
go.
Go
to the event in Iguana gear.
How about a singles match for the NXT Women's Championship? The champion JC Jane versus Tatum Paxley. It's Tatum time, baby. Put the title on Tatum Paxley. What are we doing here?
I think JC retains. Correct me if I'm wrong. We still don't know who helped JC in the last title defense. Some hooded figure came out and helped her win. So I don't think that the end of that reign is not going to happen until we know who that was. And I don't think, unless I've missed it, I don't think we know who that was yet. So I feel like the same thing is going to happen here. I think JC retains.
See, I'm going to go with Tatum Paxley. I'm just got to do something shocking on this episode of Halloween Havoc. And I think having her become the new NXT Women's Champion would be very shocking. How about a broken rules match for the NXT tag team titles? The Broken Hardys, Matt Hardy and Brother Nero. They are the NXT tag team champions. They will be taking on Dark State. I think Dark State wins here. I love I do. I love the concept of the Hardy Boys being the NXT champions. But in a broken rules match, I just feel like this is going to backfire on the Broken Hardys. And I think Dark State, strength in numbers. They've got more numbers against the Hardy Boys. And I think that Dark State is going to reclaim the NXT tag team titles.
See, I think the Hardys retain. I think that I find it weird, why even put the titles on the Hardys if they were just going to win them back a couple weeks later? Because the match,
more of a moment, in my opinion,
I guess. But then, the match with the Dudleys didn't need the NXT tag titles on the line, so it's not like the argument that could be made. There's they did it for that match. That match didn't need that. So I think the Hardys retain, and I think that they keep the titles at least for a few months. Because let's be real, this is all going to lead to the Hardys working on WWE's main roster again. And maybe at WrestleMania, they're going to be on the main roster again, one way, shape, or form. So I think the Hardys pull this one out.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they kept the tag team titles on the Hardys, but I just have a feeling that Dark State is going to win. That takes us to what will more than likely be the main event for Halloween Havoc. The NXT champion, Absolute, Ricky Saints versus Trick Williams. Trick or treat? Who's winning this match, Peyton?
Ricky Saints is winning.
Yeah, I agree.
He just won the title. There's no way they're going to take it off of him after he was the one who dethroned Obafemi. The unbeatable champion. It would look terrible if you had the guy who beat the unbeatable champion lose 4 weeks later, to Trick Williams, who's pretty much, I would assume, being close to the end of his NXT run. I don't know really what there is left for Trick to do there. He's already been a multiple time NXT champion. He's been TNA champion. I think that we're getting close to Trick's call up to the main roster, so it doesn't make any sense to have him beat Ricky Saints here.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Speaking of Obafemi, he's on the Halloween Havoc poster, but he's not going to be in action. Probably won't even be on the show. So I don't know. Maybe they just advertised him and then he lost and now he's going a different direction, which I feel like is ultimately the main roster. So I don't feel like Trick Williams is too far behind Obafemi. But yeah, I agree with you. I think Ricky Saints absolutely retains the NXT championship. That's it. Those are our predictions for Halloween Havoc, which is this Saturday on Peacock. So if you would like to relive the nostalgia that is Halloween Havoc, there you go this Saturday. Peyton, that's pretty much all that I've got for this episode of WellsMania Podcast. Is there anything else that you can think of that the people would want us to talk about?
No, not really. I think we hit everything, nailed
Now,
all of it.
Snaps and straps. We are still waiting for the results of the
You'll know
Elite Eight matchups.
You'll know in 2037.
You know what's wild to me is Snaps and Straps just added all of our promos to their Instagram story.
Yeah.
So to me, maybe that kind of feels like it's coming to the end
of this round.
Yeah. But yeah, if you guys would like to follow Snaps and Straps and keep up on this, their Instagram page is _belt collector. That is Snaps and Straps on Instagram, _belt collector. Peyton's on one side of the bracket. I'm on the other side of the bracket. And I've looked at all the other people in this tournament. You and I are by far the two that should be in the championship.
If we make it past the semifinals, I don't think the other people like your biggest challenge would be King Coley at this point. I don't think either of the other two people in the other match can beat you. And I know the other two people on my side of the bracket can't beat me. So
yeah,
I feel like this is probably going to be at this point the toughest round to get past to get to the finals. I feel like the semifinals are going to be pretty much a breeze for us to get past. So we just got to make sure we make it past the quarterfinals here.
Yeah, because I looked. So when I dethroned King Coley and advanced to the Final Four, I looked at who the two above Coley and I's matchup is. It's a family. There's a mom and a dad and some kids.
Yeah.
And then there's the part-time jobbers, which they put out a really cool NWO style promo. But it's a group of dudes. Like in the family there's a husband and a wife and kids.
Yeah.
Like they've got strength in numbers. So if I gotta
it's a handicap match.
Dude, if I gotta take down a family, so be it. Or if I gotta pull a Sting and wipe out the part-time jobbers, then so be it. I'm gonna do what I gotta do to get to the championship to face you, Peyton. So.
Yeah. Well, my opponent over here, Turnbuckle Topics, he put up his best fight, but I think that he put his foot in his mouth when he basically admitted that the tournament is not his priority. So he shouldn't beat me. I respect it. Well, no, actually, I don't respect him. I said I wipe my ass with his respect.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't take much for me to get past him. And then no offense to our buddies in the other quarterfinals match, but they have no chance in hell, pun intended,
no chance in hell
to beat me in the semifinals.
Yeah. I mean, if all goes according to the way that it should go, you and I are on a collision course for the championship.
Well, I guess It depends on who is on my side of the bracket. It's Johnny Mayhem, and who's he facing?
Just laying down, I believe.
Yeah, see, I've never even heard of him.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's who that is. And both of those guys, I don't know who's going to win because they're both very
Yeah.
evenly matched.
You know what's funny is I think you and I may have actually like legitimately pissed off our opponents in these rounds.
We definitely got their attention.
Because like I've gone into Turnbuckle Topics like live streams a few times, and he just like no sells all of my comments. He doesn't even like acknowledge the fact that I'm in there.
Oh wow. He's
So
taking it a little too serious.
yeah, well, you know what? Don't be such a bitch. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I mean it's good advice right there.
Pro wrestling.
It's going to be interesting. Hopefully we will be getting the results here very soon.
Yeah. What did CM Punk say? I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to make money.
Yeah.
I'm not in this tournament to make friends. I'm here to win that championship.
Dude, that title would look good on either of our walls. And if you and I are in the championship, I really do think we have the possibilities to really put over the Snaps and Straps tournament because of the Smash Mouth Arena. Like, could you imagine the promos that you and I could cut face to face? Because none of these other people have that ability to do face to face.
Or the matches we could defend the title like in legitimate matches against people.
Yeah.
I mean, the possibilities are endless.
They are. And you know what I just thought of? And if you're down to do this, I think it'd be kind of fun. But when you and I are cutting our promos next for like if you and I do make it to the final four, which we both should, I think you and I should just totally blow off who our opponents are and just start laying the foundation down for the inevitable championship matchup between you and I. And the cool thing that you and I could do is you could walk in the background of one of my promos.
Yeah.
Or I could walk in the background of one of your promos, but we don't tell anybody.
Yeah.
We don't tell anybody. We just see if they pick up on, was that WellsMania? Was that Stone Pain Productions?
We should definitely come up with something and tell a story if we make it to the finals.
Yeah, no, dude. The possibilities are endless. Just hopefully we'll know if we're both advancing to the final four. So do us a favor, go follow the Real Belt Collector on Instagram. That is Snaps and Straps. Keep your eyes open because they're gonna throw up polls. And I already know that King Coley and his 41,000 paid followers are going to vote for King Coley. So help a brother out here. I don't have quite the following that King Coley does, but I don't need the following that King Coley does. All I need is you, the real ones, the authentic fans of WellsMania. I'm not buying your vote. You are legit voting for me because you enjoy WellsMania over King Coley.
It shouldn't be about followers. It should be about who has the better promo.
But you know how these things go. You throw up a poll, and because a certain person has a certain amount of followers, usually the poll does kind of reflect he got all his thousands of followers to come and vote. But I did beat the Machoverse on that poll.
You did.
Yeah. And the Machoverse has more followers than King Coley. Yeah, dig it. Speaking of Machoverse, did you see what happened to him?
Yeah, he's in a movie, isn't he? Or a biopic or something?
Well, he was at a wrestling show and Crowbar attacked him. Remember WCW wrestler Crowbar?
Oh, yeah. That really? I must have missed this. I thought you were talking because didn't he just get cast to play Macho Man in a biopic or something?
I know he was trying. Did he get? Is that legit?
I don't. I mean, I feel like I saw that it was, but I must have missed this.
Well, this just happened not even a week ago, but the Macho Verse was attending an independent wrestling show. ACW, I think is what it was. But Aiden Chong, friend of the WellsMania podcast, Aiden Chong was there. And Aiden was recording video of Crowbar attacking the Macho Verse. And coincidentally, all these years ago on the same day, Crush attacked Macho Man in similar fashion. So to me, I'm like, dude, I know he's saying that it wasn't planned, but if that was planned, that's genius. And I know in the world of pro wrestling, we protect kayfabe a lot. We try to protect kayfabe a lot, but dude, Peyton, go back and watch that. I'm gonna send it your way. Go back and watch it and let me know what you think, because I, and like you, we love stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
When we, I mean, we're on both sides of the wrestling ring. We're actually wrestlers, but we also are fans and content creators and podcasters. So when we get to be on both sides of the aisle, it's so cool, man. And it's so cool to see other content creators getting involved, because you saw BDE. He was at TNA. He got to wrestle at TNA, which I didn't really know who he was.
I'm gonna be straight up honest with you. I had no fucking idea who that guy was when he came out. I was like, "Who's this guy?" And then they were like, "Oh, he's one of the most famous wrestling content creators in the world." I'm like, "Well, how famous is he? I've never heard of him."
Same. I once I realized who it was, I was like, "Oh, okay. I have seen some of that guy's stuff on my FYP." I don't think I follow him. I'm gonna change that, obviously, but just seeing stuff like that. But Peyton, kind of goes back to what I did many years ago in WWT. Remember the Showcase Battle Royal that I was in as WellsMania? I documented it. It's actually on the WellsMania YouTube page. You can go watch it, see me behind the scenes. And then actually during the match, I am literally on my phone, and that no good Dick Williams eliminated me. So
yeah.
Do you ever go back and just watch old Wrestle With This stuff?
I do. Yes, I do.
Isn't it crazy like how far we've come from the very beginning?
It is wild. You go back and you look. I mean, Mike James used to have a mohawk, you know.
Yeah.
Mondo at one point was wearing a shirt with like stringy things coming off the side of it. Like it's interesting.
And Mondo had hair.
He did have hair.
It blows my mind, because you've known me longer than most people who just are meeting me over the past couple of years. So everybody who has stumbled upon WellsMania recently just sees me as a bald-headed, bearded guy that wears glasses and a WellsMania podcast hat and always wearing the same cutoff shirt. I do have new merch coming, so I'll be wearing that here once it gets shipped to me. But yeah, man, it's just kind of wild that when I tell people that I used to have hair and then I show them, they're like, "Holy shit, that's you?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I go, when I first started wrestling back in 2017 when I was training, I had, long hair that was down to my shoulders, and then made my debut in 2018. And well, here we are, still going strong 7 years. Now I'm on a hiatus from wrestling. I've unfortunately had to turn down bookings because I'm getting very close to my wife having our son. So eventually, though, I will return back to the ring. I know WWT has been in a hiatus. Wrestle With This will get back up and running in no time. It's more, and you and I were talking about this the other day. WWT nowadays is more about the quality rather than the quantity, because yeah, we could put out, weekly, monthly episodes, but we want it to be very special when an episode is released. We want people to be really excited about it.
Yeah, especially, on this road to Slamboree, I don't want to have to throw out filler for the sake of having to throw out filler. I want each episode to feel special, and it this last year, I'm not gonna lie, it's been tough. A lot of people, there's been a lot of things happen this last year that uh that have caused a slowdown in the WWT product, you know. And it is difficult when, like, better than me, I'm a one-man army over here when it comes to WWT and the editing process and the production of it all, So and a lot of people don't know that,
Yeah.
it's and I have to revolve around other people's schedules. It's like, well, why isn't there a new episode dropping? Well, I've tried to get a new episode to drop, but I've had multiple people cancel bookings or have to change schedules or can't get enough cameramen to show up. Like there are issues with it. But by no means is WWT done and gone. I'm hoping to actually get an episode out either by the end of the month or the first week of November. And that would be episode 67 on the road to
6'7", 6'7".
Oh God, what are the odds of that?
Dude, can we get 6'7" references all throughout that episode? And if you need WellsMania to do like a backstage segment with somebody where all I'm doing is 6'7", 6'7", and then I get attacked by somebody, I'm all for it. Or better yet, if you need me to join you on commentary, dude, I would love to join you on commentary and just drop 6'7" references all show long.
I wish you wouldn't have brought up the 6'7" thing, because that is the next episode of WWT is 67.
6'7", 6'7". Listen, I don't know what it means. I don't think anybody really knows what it means. I mean, back in my day, it was suck it. Like that was the thing to do. And then too sweet. Like that was our thing, man.
And then there's this Group 7, which is taken over my For You page. I even put a video out. Like, can someone please explain to me what this is? Yeah. What is Group 7?
I've been seeing it too.
I still have no idea what it is. But I will bring up this. We are talking about Wrestle With This. There will not be a Wrestle With This booth at Squared Circle Expo this coming year. This will be like I think the first time in like 4 years that WWT will not have a booth. Not by choice. It's the simple fact that apparently they went on sale and I didn't know about it.
Well, you were on vacation. You were down in Florida.
I believe
when the
that's
tickets
what it
went
was.
on sale.
So I'm not mad about it though. This year is a year, like I said, WWT we've had fewer episodes released this past year, so there's not a lot to promote. We are on the road to Slamboree 4, but I am looking forward to focusing a lot more on Stone Payne Productions this year at Squared Circle Expo
next year.
And not having to worry about a booth will allow me to really do that and free up a lot of my time at the expo. So possibly the following year we will get a booth back, but this coming year it will be all WellsMania and Stone Payne Productions. And I believe we are in talks to once again host the costume contest.
Well, I'm glad you brought it up because I was going to break this news to you right here on episode 196 of WellsMania Podcast. You will be my co-host for the 2026 Squared Circle Expo 6 costume cosplay contest. I was in talks earlier today with Ed Goatzales, and I said, hey, had a lot of fun last year co-hosting it with Dodge, but I got somebody better to co-host it with me next year at Squared Circle Expo 6. And I said, Stone Payne Productions. And he said, hell yeah, homie. Can't wait. It's going to be a lot of fun.
See, now the question is, how do we up the ante? I mean, last year we went all out last year. I mean, It was a crazy contest. So
Yeah. Well, here's what I'm going to do. I am going to go in recruit mode. I am going to reach out to some of the best cosplayers in the world of pro wrestling,
let's do it.
and I am going to personally invite them to Squared Circle Expo 6 to not only be there at the greatest wrestling convention in the world, but to participate in the costume cosplay contest, because I'm talking about the Macho Verse, man. Bringing in the Macho Verse, who arguably is the best Macho Man cosplay out there. Yeah, dig it. And Jack in the Box. I don't know if you're familiar with Jack in the Box, but he has the best Triple H cosplay out there. And then there are so many others that I literally just saw, and I've been reposting a lot of it on my social media because I saw this one. Dude, I popped for this one, and they would get my vote if they showed up at Squared Circle Expo 6. They would win. I'm talking about old school Shawn Michaels and Sensational Sherry.
Ooh, that'd be a good one.
From 1992 and 1993. Dude, those two people, I popped for it. I actually messaged both of them and said, thank you for doing this. This is nostalgia for me and anybody my age who grew up watching Shawn Michaels and Sensational Sherry. Man, so I'm going to invite those two and then just a plethora of other cosplayers, because it is worth coming to Indianapolis for Squared Circle Expo. It's the best wrestling convention in the world. And if you're traveling everywhere else, there's no excuse for you to not travel to Indianapolis. So, Peyton, you and I will be hosting the costume contest next year at Squared Circle Expo 6.
Hopefully Frank the Clown shows up again.
Yeah. Frank, friend of the WellsMania Podcast and Stone Payne Productions, Frank the Clown was a huge hit last year. See, I feel like it was last year. It was earlier this year. Back in April. What a crazy back-to-back weekends it was for me, because I was out in Las Vegas getting married and going to WrestleMania, and then the following week I was running wild at Squared Circle Expo. Dude, you talk about 2025. This has been the wildest year of my life. Getting married, going out to Vegas, and now about to become a dad, all in the same year.
This year has been a roller coaster ride. So
I feel like it's been a tale of two different stories. I feel like this has been more of an up year for me and a down year for you, but hopefully
as far now content wise, it's been a very up year for me.
Yeah.
Other stuff, it's well, we won't get into it. But hopefully 2026 is 2020. It'll already be better because I won't have to wear glasses anymore. So
you're already off to a great start heading in to the new year. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Squared Circle Expo 6. You can go ahead and get your tickets, squaredcirclex.com, and be sure to follow Squared Circle Expo on all the social medias, and tell them WellsMania and Stone Payne Productions sent you. They love that. All right, Peyton, go ahead, plug your social media, plug your new merch, and anything else you want to get out there before we officially go home.
Stone Payne Productions on TikTok, X, Instagram. Go and follow those, especially TikTok. That seems to be the backbone of what I do. The merch store is live, ladies and gentlemen. Stone Payne Productions on Brain Buster Tees. Right now, it is just the first design. More designs have been submitted. There will be a lot of merch coming. I have so many ideas, but the initial first design is live. Again, Stone Payne Productions at Brainbuster Tees. Go and get your merch. Speaking of merch, speaking of costumes, we are doing a Stone Payne Productions Halloween costume contest
Hell
on
yeah.
online. The way that you register or apply or take part is I put out a video on both Instagram and TikTok giving the rules and regulations. You can either comment your 2025 Halloween costume on said videos, or you can post your costume and then tag me in it. The winner of the contest, which I will personally choose, whoever I think has the best costume. Bonus points if it's wrestling related, but it doesn't need to be wrestling related. Will get a very special Halloween themed Stone Payne Productions t-shirt, free of charge. You will get it as a giveaway. So you won't want to miss that. You know, everyone is always begging me to do giveaways. Well, here it is. Here is your chance to take part, but you got to have a good Halloween costume.
And I'm going to go ahead and up the ante. Anybody who dresses up as WellsMania, not only will you get an opportunity to win the contest, but you automatically will win from me. I will do a video, a personal shout out video of you and your contest promoting your social media. And if you're down to come on WellsMania Podcast wearing your costume, you've got the invite. So there's more incentive for anyone out there who wants to play in Stone Payne Productions Halloween contest game. Are you ready? So, dude, and then if anybody dresses up as Stone Payne, I'll go ahead and count that as well. So
we've already had a couple good entries. I've had a couple really good ones already put out there. No wrestling ones yet, though. I haven't had anybody post a wrestling related costume yet. So
come on, people.
You gotta hurry. The deadline is you got till Halloween. After Halloween, November 1st, that's when I'll be making my picks. So
it's over after that. It's heading into Thanksgiving season. But yes, I'm excited that you finally got your merch store up and running. And if you want to send some Stone Payne merch over my way, you know me, I'll wear it all the time on episodes of WellsMania and doing TikTok videos. It's something that I've been offering other wrestling content creators. If you want to send me like a hat with your logo on it or a shirt with your logo on it, I will cut the sleeves off. I will wear it, and I will wear my hat or wear your hat and just promote and plug the hell out of your merch. So Peyton, I'm offering that to you. I've already done it with Slammer, and the Dad World Order. They're supposed to be sending me a DWO podcast hat because I am a hat guy now. So just throwing it out there. Any wrestling content creators that have merch that want their merch seen, and trust me, we've got thousands and thousands of people who follow Stone Payne Productions and WellsMania. So your merch will be seen, and Peyton and I, we're the best promos in the game. So they will know who the hell you are, and we will help you in any way that we can. But go buy Peyton's merch. And if you do want to buy my merch, brainbustertees.com is also where you can find WellsMania merch. Peyton, thank you so much for running wild with me. I guess one of the positives of not being able to really see was you didn't really have to see me this episode, but you can't escape the pipes of WellsMania because they run wild.
Yeah, no, I definitely would never recommend you doing ASMR. I don't think it would work out.
No, I'm way too loud for even attempting to do that. Well, thank you, Peyton. I hope your recovery goes fast, and then you'll be able to see more clear than you ever have before, but you still won't be able to see John Cena. Hey, thank you guys so much for running wild with Stone Payne Productions. I'm WellsMania. Everybody enjoy Halloween Havoc next week. If all goes according to plan, it will be the Halloween special of WellsMania. Peyton will be there. WWE Human Encyclopedia Jared Giles will be there, and a very special guest might also be there as well. If all goes according to plan, you're not going to want to miss it. Be sure to follow me all over everywhere at WellsMania. Subscribe to WellsMania Podcast right here on YouTube. Until next episode, take care, stay positive, run wild, and dominate the day.